For this last section, you'll be creating a watercolor painting, going from light to dark, using any color scheme that we've done previously. So it could be monochromatic, analogous, complementary. So for this one, I'm just going to be using an analogous color scheme with the blue at the top here. And I'm going to be on top of this adding a texture to create the value change. So your texture on top can be done with Sharpie, it can be done with pen, charcoal. So think about what material you would like to use on top of this. I'm just going to be using Sharpie to create the texture on top. So I'm fading from blue into green and then yellow. And as I'm working, I started with just painting the background with water first. So if you're painting the background with water first, it's going to help to blend your colors a little bit more smoothly. So again, I used an analogous color scheme, but decide what color you would like to work with. And then think about your design. So I'm just doing a simple cross-hatching value change on here, fading from dark to light. So I'm not doing an extravagant design, but you can definitely be creative with this. There's a lot of directions you can take your design, especially if you plan to do this for your final project. Think about how you want that texture to look and to turn out. But at the top here, I'm just making it my darkest area, so my cross-hatching lines are closer together, overlapping a little bit more. And then as I get down towards the yellow section, which is going to be my lighter area, I'm spacing my lines out a little bit more. But I'm overlapping, going a lot of different directions just to create a little bit more contrast with my value change from light to dark. So I'm trying to emphasize the dark areas a little bit more, making those darker, and then fading into the lighter areas. It's up to you too how you want to cut these up, rip them into different shapes, different pieces. I'm just ripping them, but you could cut out triangles, squares, different shapes if you want to try it out. So try to just continue trying out different potential ideas for your final project that you might want to work with. But I'm going from dark to light, so I'm starting with ripping up sections from all of my dark areas first, and then starting to fade those into my lighter area. So the nice thing with this is that I don't have to worry about going over top of anything with the black or the white tissue paper, because I naturally have the value change that I already worked with the texture that I drew out. Again, be creative with that texture that you're drawing. You could do some sort of Zentangle design. You could look up a picture of something that you want to draw and emphasize value change with that. Maybe doing, for example, a brick texture that you're drawing in the background, starting with smaller bricks or smaller rectangles that are going to fade into larger ones to create and emphasize that transition from light to dark. But again, I'm just ripping up my pieces, practice the different size that you would potentially want to use for your final project, just to continue to get used to that, see how it will look, and really refine ideas for final projects as you're working on these value scales. Our next step after this is going to be starting a portrait practice, so you can see how you can take and apply these ideas into your final portrait. But give this a try, see how it looks, and again, remember to continue thinking about which of these sections is your favorite, which color scheme is your favorite, that you might want to apply when you get to the next step of the portrait practice to refine ideas for your final project.